I'm the number one. Here I come.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to the show.
Hey.
I'm your host, Otis, and today we're going to be diving into the world of Trillmonster, a brand that's all about fostering a community, encouraging those who look or feel different to believe in themselves. I can definitely say I'm stoked to be sitting here with the brand owner, Trill, for our second edition of What's Trill. Today, we're going to explore the evolution, the creative vision behind, and also how the team brings it all together. So I just want you to go ahead and chill, kick back, relax.
Yes, get your wine, get your reefer. You know what I'm saying?
Relax. You know, you back again. You interested in hearing what we got to say. So we're going to vibe as we go through, you know, our journey of creativity and the passion behind bringing it all together.
Yeah, we haven't seen you guys since last year.
Yeah, we ready to get it in, though. So, Trill, tell me, what's good, bro?
Oh, man.
It's been almost a year since we did our last episode.
It's been good. It's been definitely a journey and definitely a commitment that comes with a lot of responsibility, but I love it. You know, I learned to enjoy the journey instead of, like, being frustrated. But, you know, other than that, like, it's been a journey. We've been getting a lot of things done with the brand, making new things that's coming out next year, hopefully.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely in the lab trying to, you know, put the recipe together to make sure, you know, what we giving y'all is definitely premium quality throughout. So we'll be coming with some things soon. Definitely if you like what we've done with the shirts, you know, the hoodies, you know, we got a couple of different editions of those, and just wait to see everything else that we have planned on the same level, if not more exclusive. So we're excited. So thanks for giving a little bit of, you know, history on what's been happening over the last year. Appreciate that. Yeah. So I know there are some specific things that people are, you know, curious about, you know, being a brand owner, like what does it look like? It looks different for everybody. So I decided to put together a streamlined list. You know, I don't want to be like too much, but just enough. We're not trying to go into like a super deep podcast today, but as we start to, you know, grow and learn more and, you know, find our niche in this market of, you know, just coming to the table and giving y'all insight, like we can find some other, you know, interesting things that align to like what we're doing too, and kind of dive into, you know, how we view it and what things we take away, you know, to incorporate. But yeah, that's it to come. So again, I got a streamlined list of questions, and I just want to make sure that our experiences, you know, some way, somehow can relate to you and or, you know, give you that encouragement or inspiration, motivation that you need, you know, to get things moving in the right direction for whatever it is that you're dreaming to do. All so right. Anything to add to that, Trill, before we get into it?
No.
That's right what's up. Cool. So we're going to talk about like the lessons learned. What a key lesson you learned while building your clothing brand?
Believing in yourself. You know, I feel like you can't let people determine which your goal is. You know, being consistent. You know what I'm saying? I feel like often we see what's going on and we see the final of what people are going on and don't really see the journey of the steps what it really takes to have a successful brand. So, you know.
Ain't no lies. It's definitely a lot of energy, you know, time commitment that you have to dedicate to getting a finished product. So it's definitely not for the weak, but someone who is passionate and motivated to reach their highest potential, you know. So that's kind of the journey that we on.
Yeah. When you stay true to the cause, people will come. You know, I just feel that's what it is. You know, other than that, like lesson learned is just like keep investing in yourself. You know, and keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Once you have the juice rolling, keep the juice rolling.
Yeah, I think that is definitely one of the things that I would consider, like, throughout everything we're talking about, you know, like really honing in on like the biggest, like, personal and professional strength, or I'm not going to call it a weakness. It's a strength that we've taken away from this, and it's not for the weak, you know, and you listen, you pay attention, and you respond accordingly, you know, and that's for continuing to take those as opportunities to, you know, pay closer attention, or, you know, just be more invested in the whole process. Because sometimes you just go with, you know, the first of whatever, not saying like, oh, you're going with the first idea, but, you know, it's just taking your time and making sure that you are making the right decisions, and also keeping communication consistent too with the people, stakeholders that you have involved.
You know, that's most definitely.
So let's talk about what you have upcoming for the brand. What do those plans look like for the future?
You know, keep expanding. There's more to the shirt, just a shirt, you know. Like, my goal is to have a good foundation with the brand, you know, with I got button ups coming up, I got pants I'm trying to get done. You know what I'm saying? I got long sleeves to the shirts. I'm trying to, you know, create something different next year, and that's what I have going on next year. Just trying to create these 3 pieces. You know, because so far, you know, I've been in Soho, and Soho been giving me the validation that, you know, the brand is going where it needs to be. You know?
Definitely a lot of great feedback. You know, we appreciate everybody who has stopped by, who has had a conversation, provided direction or feedback. It's appreciated. Like, we take all those things into consideration as we evaluate like where the brand is, and, you know, where the brand can potentially go to. So to have, you know, you all, our clients, you know, be happy and love, you know, what we've done this go around, it definitely encourages us to keep on producing things that, you know, the people will love. So, and that is connected to like what we're feeling, you know, in those moments, more like Trill. But, you know, I'm just kind of like the quality assurance person, you know.
Yeah, and I have a EP dropping next month. So far I got 2 songs out, What's Up and Pass Me the Blunt, you know what I'm saying? So check those 2 songs out. That will give you the basic of what the EP is going to be about, you know what I'm saying? So that hopefully that'll be dropping next month. That's my plan, to drop it next month, you know what I'm saying? It's called Barcode Dreams. You know what I'm saying? And it would break down the elements of Trillmonster.
Excellent. All right. So it seems like you got your plate full with a lot of things, you know, music and fashion. That is what it is.
Yeah.
But you do them both well. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah, it took me a while,
like what
though.
you got going on.
I just feel like, you know, in the beginning, making music, I didn't really. I think it's like sometimes I feel like you get a little excited, you just want to hop into the music and just do everything. I think sometimes I was just going to the studio just to hear my voice and do what I gotta do. But like now I'm starting to like understand and master it. But like when I'm really,
it seemed like you had a dream to, you know, want to get in the studio and do something. But,
and now I'm
believing in yourself differently.
Yeah, because now I'm starting to like understand it, and I feel like with this EP, like I really like gave it my first like all the way around, and like really gave it like lyrics where people can understand where I'm coming from. Okay. But like by the process of making this EP, I learned like I love making beats. So after this EP, I'm really gonna master and dive in being a producer more and making beats. So, that's what's good about this EP. It made me found my passion in music is making beats. So, I made all my beats on this EP. You know what I'm saying? All my beats on this EP. The only one I didn't make is shout out to Frankie, my producer, that actually worked on this music with this EP with me. So shout out to him, great guy. Definitely motivated me to like do it and gave me the reassurance that I can really do this. I just gotta keep being consistent. So
let me ask you this: as far as branding goes, how would you describe your brand's identity?
I would survive it of never giving up. Choose yourself first. No matter what dark place you're in, just always have that reassurance of the corner of the brain or, whatever dark tunnel you're in. Just have it on the side of you or in your pocket, knowing that things are going to work out. Because I feel like I was in a place where I was just like, why the hell do I keep on putting myself in this loop? Or sometimes, you really be trying, and because you're not aware of yourself in a way, if I want to say, like I feel like you just dive into things and don't really get to understand people and understand what are you really getting into. So I just feel like...
How have you incorporated those situations into the brand? Like, how are you?
So I pretty much
bringing that energy.
Definitely was just like, I'm gonna do this. So being consistent and understanding, like, find a way. I'm going to make this brand done, and I'm going to be consistent of finding my niche. And by working on my niche with the brand, that really taught me to like never like give up. So when you're consistent, honestly, it's cliche or whatever y'all want to say. No matter what you're going through, like I've been homeless and everything, like, and there's still a way. I think you have to, when I opened up my mouth more and made it more about me, and like I feel like sometimes I was not in the room talking about myself more because it's like, oh, whatever. But, it's just about never giving up and like understand you can do anything you put your mind to. So that's where the brand stand is just fight, you know what I'm saying? Just fight and like motivate yourself to like do what you want to do in life. Like I feel like we're in a time right now where you can actually, beside all the things that's going on in the world right now, but and this time right now, I feel like we could do what we want to do if we put our mind to it. It's a little harder, but it's got to keep going,
Yeah, you definitely have to believe in yourself, and just trust the process. It doesn't always seem like a clear path when you're going through it, but just take it day by day, and time by time, and things will eventually come together. It's just believing in yourself.
Yeah, turn your plans into, power. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you just gotta keep going.
Right. So let's move on. Let's talk about the drops. So that's a major part of like everything that we're doing. That's basically everything. There's preparation. As far as the ideas and making sure that we have all the components that we need involved in the entire scope of the project, identified. But beyond that, each of those things, definitely takes a lot of time between the both of us, coming up with both of our ideas. More his, he's the visionary. And, again, I'm the quality assurance person. So a lot of times, I do try to step in and provide the guidance just to make sure that we got a couple different perspectives. Like he has one style, I got a different style. So like it's kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah. So I feel like it helps me because I feel like everybody's different, but I feel like there's a way you can make my brand's not for everybody, but I still try to make it a way where people can relate to it. The drops, pretty much, I try to go by a certain cut where it would go with multiple things that's in your closet. And my goal with the t-shirts we was talking about was to not be too crop, but still have a little flavor to it, where it gives the outfit a certain like dimensional look. So I wanted to make sure the t-shirt still look like a regular fitted like shirt, but has that loose type vibes where you can wear it with like pants and cargos and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I think that's spot on. We definitely thought through, like, what does the bottom look like, with the top, and how flexible is the piece in your closet? Is it something that, is I can only wear with one thing and I don't really get a lot of wear out of it? Or is it something that I can wear it, just running to the store, I'm about to go to the gym, but I want to look fly going to the gym. You can toss it on with your sweatpants, or, going
to the club.
Yeah, club, to the office, with your slacks,
you know what I'm saying?
or your skirt. It's a cute vibe. It just depends on what your office setting looks like, but it's still not giving too much. Like, this is the book of truth, which is encouragement, motivation, yada, yada. But we have, on the other hand, I can't see through the bullshit.
You know what I'm saying? So basically, that's what the drop. So like when we drop clothes and like starting to make the next material things, or like what are we gonna do? It's based off the material and how is this person going to wear it all the time? Like how many settings can they wear it in? Can they wear it during the day? Can they wear it to the club? Can they wear it just like, let me just throw this on and still don't have to worry about, do I look nice or not? So like,
no, that's true. That's word on that.
So like that's where the drops come from, of this, the start of the creative.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I just add, like, the main like purpose of like the cut and the wear and the t-shirt is for the Trillmonster brand, is to make sure it's one of those shirts that can last in your collection for a very long time. Like, everything is stellar. So
maybe a lifetime. You could give it to your
listen, your grandkids. Can be passed on. It's one of the shirts. It ain't gonna be wore out. Let's say that, no matter how much you wear it. So
let's talk about like the fabric.
So the fabric. Like, we had an opportunity to travel to Cali and sit down with some manufacturers and talk about like our idea and what it looked like for us, and test some different fabric samples.
Yeah, I would say like start to learn your materials, and I just feel like some people, when they start brands, are a little cheap and like just want to just hop on and make quick money. I just feel like if you're in this for quick money, do what you do, but if you're willing to like really dive in and build a successful brand and understand what you're building to your community, understand your strength and your quality of the brand,
Yeah. Just one thing to add to that. I'm just going to say, with like each and every step that you take while you are building the finished product, you do that passionately. Like, that's the most important piece of your project. Because all those little small moments, add to the finished product. And if you are putting that amount of energy into every small detail for a product that could, really take you all the way up, it's worth it. It's worth the investment in yourself, because you are actually learning along the way too. And there's nothing more valuable than knowledge, as you start to navigate and continue to build on the brand, because it doesn't get easier from.
Yeah, because I would say if you're doing a big production too, like it make sure your pieces, which something that we had to learn. I think make sure that first product is where it needs to be at, instead of you'll get a sample, or like after that first sample, you're like, all right, this is cool, but no, I need to see the whole fully product, like the one product what we was working on. Like, so if you made the design, you made the cut, whatever the case is, sometimes it's called a muzzleum. They'll just send you a muzzleum and be like, well, this is what the final is going to look like.
Yeah, get your sample. Get your sample. It's a rough draft, but you take it and find your manufacturer and allow that manufacturer to create a sample for you to confirm that your details that you specify you needed to have in your piece, they are all in place. Like, it's important for you to take your time and really pay attention and make sure you're continuing to stay true to like your vision of everything. Maybe there are some tweaks that can be added that can enhance it, but be careful with those too by other recommendations if it doesn't fully align to like your vision. So for like cosmetic, like, oh yeah, it definitely is going to be lopsided because somebody measured something wrong. Okay, yeah, let's adjust that accordingly. But by the time
and I would say too, work with people that have common sense, because
I'll say that too.
Even though, like, all right, I think let me just give you an example. Say like, all right, you got one sleeve and then you have the other sleeve, and maybe like it's off like 3 inches, 4 inches, whatever the case is. I mean, common sense, like, this is by me working with different people. Like, another person that I worked with these shirts, they pretty much, the common sense was there. Like, bro, this just needs to be fixed. Like, I'm going to just fix it where it needs to be fixed.
I think you thought the common sense was there. No, you communicated with
common sense. It was, but thank God it's good to work with multiple people, because, like, even the guy in LA, like, something is wrong with the shirt and you still, like, gonna make it for what it is. And then I had a graphics designer I was doing something with, and it's just like, we told you we want the design in the middle and you have it at the bottom of the shirt. You make one. Why, if common sense, you seeing it comes all the way to the bottom of the shirt, maybe you should make a call and see, hey, I'm not sure if you want it like this or not, but before I continue making more, and this is even if you're doing screen printing or whatever the case is, I think this is something that you need to know too. Like, I just feel like, there needs to be a little common sense in there where it's just like, don't just go into it and just think it's correct. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like...
Yeah, I agree. Definitely you would hope that you're partnering with somebody who is that expert in that area, of the project. However, you may not always have that be true. So it's important that, like, again, every single piece of the finished product needs to be carefully tendered. Like, you taking your time and being okay about, like, maybe sounding like you're too much, but at the end of the day, like, if you aren't 100% clear and maybe even needing to, like, let me stand beside you, just depending on, whatever the situation is, that varies, but just that way that you feel comfortable that that person is going to do the right thing. Like, not fucking shit up. So, like, we've had our experiences with that. It definitely blew us back a minute. Like, we had to, regroup, because that was the least expected. But you're gonna have those situations, and I knew that coming into it, and we just figured out how to navigate. We made it work. Quick, fast, in a hurry. It's the resolution expert over here. So.
Listen, I ain't come from shit, but I do come from a background of families that are entrepreneurs. Like, my grandfather got his thing going on, and by just a little kid, he would not cut somebody out. Let me not say that. I just feel like sometimes, when you believe in people a lot, like, I see my grandfather like, like, what are we doing here? So, like, I try to keep a little bit of that ambition of what I seen from my grandparents. They run a multi-million plumbing business in Atlanta. They're both retired, did what they need to do, and now they're chilling. So that is my goal, is to do what I need to do and make sure the job is correct and give the people what they're paying for. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, no, it's no simpler than that, you know. And I hear your passion, and I see your passion
and
behind.
it's not no handout either. Like I've
No,
been doing this from the ground, no handouts, baby.
not
You know
at
what I'm
all.
saying?
Like this man, he be making sure he does what needs to be done in order to keep his dream alive.
Yeah.
You know, and making sure that his vision across the board is received the way he wants it to be received. You know, so I appreciate, and I've learned a lot from him, you know, through this process as well. You know, so it's been a great partnership, you know, working through this drop, which was, you know, it had some highs and it had some lows, but in the end, you know, the high was being out on the streets in Soho selling the product and being able to hear people's feedback, you know, uh, giving us like our props for how well the shirts are put together. So, yeah, they pay attention to all that, you know.
All
And
that.
I know how detailed I am, and I know how detailed he is, and how particular, you know, we are with clothes as well. So I'm not surprised, but you know, I think we are appreciative that people actually stop, and even when they don't buy, and a lot of people do buy, you know, they still acknowledge how well the product is. So
I would definitely. I feel like, you know, that's what we're learning about the next drop too, is what to do and what not to do. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like putting yourself out there is good. And even though, you know, those are, you know, when people say F opinions, you know, you kind of have to put yourself out there to see what is the percentage of people are saying, so you know how to go about your next item.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So,
yeah. That's, I mean, you gotta pay attention to your customer.
yeah.
You know? All right, so let's move on. That was great insight to like what our drop looked like. You know, there's a lot of stories to be told, but we're gonna keep this high level today. Talk up a little bit about saving, because it's important to, you know, with building a brand and not having funding from, you know, investors, and having to pretty much, you know, make sure from the start to the finish, you know, the project is fully funded and it keeps going.
I say track every transaction. You know, start small. Don't over inventory. You know, I feel like in the beginning I was doing too much inventory, and you know,
I don't think it was the wrong inventory. I feel like it was the sizing thing more so with the inventory. Like, had we gotten more smaller sizes than larger sizes, we kind of held on to the larger sizes longer because people still they wanted the smaller sizes. So we kind of thought more bigger people would be, and it's oversized.
But not even bigger people. Like, it's just the style of the shirt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think, but what shocks a lot of people, they look at the shirt and be like, oh my God. But when you put it on, it's a different.
Yeah, it just,
like,
it lays
look
on
and
your body.
format.
Everybody, it lays differently, you know?
Yeah.
So
My goal with this shirt was to like just have like an oversized, like fitted crop, but still not crop, but like a nice length where it hit your jeans.
Yeah.
Where it's a nice fitted shirt.
Yeah,
It's like loose.
It's that
black
sexy shirt. It's the sexy shirt, you know, and it's for the man that is uncomfortable showing stomach, but still want, you know, a part of the fashion.
But I did learn there's a lot of small people in this world, you know. That like literally it took me being outside, just, you know, Vendoram. It's just like, wow, like people are really small. Like, so it's not. I wasn't thinking about y'all. It was just like, I think when you're out and really paying attention to people, you're starting to see like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the marketing part that I think there's knowing our audience too, you know. So definitely being outside gave us an opportunity, you know, seeing that a lot of smaller people were like, we love it, versus like the bigger person. Not really.
So that's something I learned. You know, make them smalls, make them extra smalls too, because they are out here. Those are kind of like your people that's gonna buy you first, fortunately. But
real talk.
Budgeting for the project. You know,
we had to know how much money we had to put aside
Budgeting,
for everything. You know,
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to give them a good, like, budgeting. How I budget is that if I know I have something coming up, you know, I make sure I start putting money aside. And if you feel like you can't afford it in 3, 4, or 5 months, just know that, all right, if I make this in a year or two, I'll be able to put this down payment on. So it's never too late. And I think people feel like because they can't do it in 6 months or they can't get it done in a month or they can't get it done in the same year, it's just like, fuck it. Nah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
But realistically, you have to look at what the possibilities are and then hold yourself accountable. Say, I'm going to give myself 6 months.
Yeah.
And then make sure, you know, you're making every effort to add to the pot to make sure when that 6 month time period, if not sooner, is here, you know, you're ready to move forward with what you had planned. That gives you plenty of ample opportunity to get things.
And listen, you in New York City, like, listen, there's plenty of pantries, all that stuff like that. If anything, the pantries are selling more fresher food if you really want to talk about it.
Okay.
I just feel like you need to learn how to use your resource. You're never too good or big enough to use any type of resource that's out there for you in order to get what you want to get done for yourself. At the end of the day, you're going to have to contribute to society some way, somehow. So, like, don't feel bad for you needing help to, like, complete your dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my dream is to start a foundation, too. Like, you know what I'm saying? To help people get computers and laptops and stuff like that. But that's off. But anyway, I'm just saying in general, you know, if you feel like, you know, don't use your resources. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Like,
That's most
you know
important.
Like,
so, like, for the sake of time, because we don't have much more time, I want to be able to make it through a couple more questions and, you know, wrap it up here. But I think one of the most important pieces of information that we can share is that the investment in yourself, you know, with the brand. Like, I know that personal growth and, you know, the business kind of go hand in hand. Like, for you, like, how has that allowed you to really hone in and continue to stay inspired? You know,
I deal with
for the brand?
depression, so I feel like, you know, since I started this clothing brand, I've been more consistent. It's been helping me challenge myself to understand I can do it. I feel like sometimes when you go through certain things or certain relationships or whatever your background of what you've been through, I think sometimes you start doubting yourself because of nobody's really there. Like, yeah, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Or what? Nobody's there sometimes just bigging you up. You know, you be around people and, you know, you need to be around people that's going to celebrate you and motivate you to be the best you want to do. And I say YouTube is kind of your best friend too, because you can go on YouTube and look up people and they're going through the similar thing and you can relate to them more. So I said YouTube is kind of like my pickup too.
Yeah, definitely a lot of YouTube, you know, which I find inspiring, encouraging, and educational too. So I definitely sit down and watch those with him. He is Mr. YouTube. So.
Yeah, I love YouTube.
Yeah, okay. So appreciate that. I guess one last thing here before this second last question we got, ignoring doubt. Like, I feel like when you're going through like any type of major project where you gotta have an audience of the whole fucking public receive like what you're producing, like how do you deal with that type of self-doubt when it comes to your brand?
When I realized people been buying my brand, sometimes I can't really focus on self doubt like that. I focus on the good part of it.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in the bad end of it, I'll be like, well, 100 people did say they like my shirt. Well, damn, I am getting the money to buy more inventory and stuff like that. Yeah. So, You know, like I think of the good things, what's going on with the brand. So that continues my growth to understand I can do this and just keep the juice rolling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's real talk. Yep. Just know there will be some bad days, but I feel like, you stick it out for the long run, you'll have a lot more brighter days on the other side. So again, stay encouraged. Ignore the doubt.
Yeah, focus on the process instead of the outcome. Sometimes the outcome will be there.
And that's just like our 2 cents on our experiences too. So like that's how we navigate too. So last question, balancing fashion and music. I know you mentioned earlier on like music is your shit too. You got EP, everybody know that's going to be out soon, and you got some songs that are out there. How are you balancing that music along with, the brand Trillmonster that is like really popping off and continuing to grow in the right direction?
I'm learning to just pretty much when I'm waiting for the inventory for my clothing brand, or when I'm in the process of doing things with the brand and there's nothing else to really do because you gotta wait on stuff. So when I'm waiting on inventory and stuff like that, and it's out of my control, that's when I go to music to keep my mental in a different place. So
creativity be going off the radar, But that's a great outlet too. I think everybody knows music and fashion kind of, they're married. And so, not surprising that that's a lane that you're in. And honestly, I do feel like it's a great representation of the brand as well. It's like full circle music. His music feels the same way the clothing brand does. So, like, if you can dig the clothing brand,
to the words,
then you can dig his music. It definitely is all about the words, even though the beats are fresh too. They fresh as like not everybody is doing it, so you definitely have to be open to listening to uniqueness, and that's something, and receiving uniqueness, because that's the direction that this brand is headed in, and it is in. Like, this is not what everybody else is doing, so it definitely, can be a little scary, but then when you have that reassurance, like you said, from like the people that we're connecting to every day when we're on the streets in Soho, it reassures you that, following your heart, and everything that you believe in, trust that people will also receive it just like that too. So wrapping it up, any last words, Trill?
Where can they find us at?
We're on trillmonster.net, when you're ready to shop. And that's where you're going to find our clothes. Like, our drops are there. But, you can always follow the journey and be a mutant, and find us on Instagram at Trillmonster Mutants. And
that's our Instagram, and then our website.
Yeah, so our Instagram is here.
And then our Gmail, if you want to do a collab, or, you want to do some business with us, you can just talk to us in our Gmail.
Yeah, and you can find all that in the bio on Instagram too. So again, that's Trillmonster Mutants. If you want to be a mutant, follow, you like to buy everything we have going, and or check us out when you're ready to buy, or just see what it's giving. Or you can find us out in Soho too. We'd be out on the weekends.
Yeah, we'd be on
this.
What's that?
We're on Prince and Crosby. So Prince Street in between Broadway and Crosby. On the other end of us, there's a Diggs, and in front of us, and on the side of the building where we are, it's I can't even remember the name of the store now. Aritzia. Yeah, Aritzia. So I think all the girls know where that is.
Yeah, we have beautiful artists next to us, and then beautiful jewelry. So it's like a whole little block thing.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
So wrapping it up,
and make sure y'all stream my music. What's up? And pass me the blunt. You know what I'm saying? And the EP would definitely be out next month.
Find us on trillmonster.net.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Appreciate y'all for dropping in and listening to our journey.
Yeah,
much love.
And we're gonna
peace and blessings.
Yeah.
Feel good, broke the dope, profit, yet I'm sheeping in the hood. I'm a boss in the game, ain't no need